Oh my Gordon. Aaron forking Gordon. The miracle at the wall. Counted to 50. Nuggets even the series. Coming up. Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for joining us and making us part of your day, being with us, being an everyday or even on a Saturday after the Nuggets get a monumental, huge win behind the putback from Aaron Gordon as time expires. I've been trying to come up with a good nickname. I can't. The miracle at the wall, the 50 burger, whatever you want to call it. Nuggets get the win. They even the series 2-2 to avoid going down 3-1 and to avoid what would have been a pretty damaging collapse, but we're going to spin it positive. We will talk about it all in detail today. We'll break it down. I'm Matt Moore from the Action Network and the Denver Dig, joined by Ryan Blackburn of Mile High Sports. Today's show is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Tell us in the comments at youtube.com/LockedOnNuggets how you're feeling about this one, because oh my goodness, what a game. What a series. We've had one dud and the others have been absolute gems. I'm going to put this up front, right? Like I am going to put this up front. Ryan's a fan. I'm not. Okay. So I am going to, as they say, stay over on that side. I'm going to stay over on that side. I'm not all of a sudden going to be like, the Nuggets can do it. They've got it. No, like I said, the series was over after game 3. I continue to believe that's true based off of the math and my analysis. Like my job is to try and be as accurate as possible. But you know what? If you're a Nuggets fan, you need to be jacked, because that was a monster win that they got, down 2-1 on the road. All of these things facing them. Your superstar showed up, Nikola Jokic. Your guy, Michael Porter Jr., played through a lot of pain and made some absolutely huge plays. The turnovers were dicey, but the shots were bigger. They were shorthanded. They were up against it. They battled. They got physical. They got back in Harden's face. They showed the fight that Nikola Jokic wanted, Ryan, and they got the win.
It started early, and Denver did a lot of great things in this game. It kind of started same way that it had started in game 3, but unlike in game 3, Denver held serve. They never let go of the rope, and they brought the fight in this one throughout the entire time. There were a couple times where they were a little bit reticent, especially when they're up 20 in the fourth quarter and then decided, you know what? We like to give our fans heart attacks. That's the goal. Everything's fun. It should be interesting and enjoyable and death defying. That's for sure. But holy cow, what a game. What a series so far. I do feel like, and I've got a bone to pick with you, man. I feel like you dragged me down just a little bit at the end of this last one, this game 3. And I had talked about it and said, man, the Clippers were going to win game 3. It was going to be a blowout. It wasn't going to feel good. And then I backed off of my own analysis and said, yeah, I think the Clippers are going to win the series, when I had said the Nuggets were going to win in 6. And holy cow, this was kind of like that, how that was going to go at the beginning of the evaluation.
Eeyore, do not be pinning your sadness on me, sir.
It's pretty easy for me to be pretty sad, not going to lie. But holy cow, man, this is an entirely positive moment.
We've called it. We've called this. I would have said that the Nuggets were going to split 1-1. I said the Clippers were going to win game 3 in a blowout, and the Nuggets were going to win game 4.
Yeah.
I will not share because then on the moment what I think is going to happen for the rest of the series. But this has gone like I never said they weren't going to win game 4. And look, I'm not. What do I know, right? The Nuggets can prove us wrong. There's a reason we called the show No Jinx.
Yeah.
I will not, however, allow you who has been like they're going to lose in the first round for months. After saying they're going to lose in the second round for months before that. I will not be made the villain on my own show, sir. Jokic was, so we were like, there's nothing much Jokic could do. And Jokic was like, bet 36 points, 14 to 25, 3 of 6 from 3, took the 3-pointers with confidence, made him with confidence. Great action to generate him some of those, including kickouts for him for spot up threes. 21 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, just 2 turnovers. Only 2 turnovers. We'll get to Jamal Murray later. I have empathy for Jamal because it's like he was the only one who had a good game 3.
Yeah, right.
And he had it at the worst time. And then he has a horrible game 4. And he has it at the worst time. Porter deserves a lot of credit here. When they said that Porter was playing and when Westbrook was out, I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I get it. They're shorthanded. They don't have anybody. But, like, he's got one arm, man. And the turnovers in the third quarter were absolutely catastrophic. Do not get me wrong. But for that dude with that shoulder, with how much pain, like, he's in a lot of pain. And for him to want to play, for him to go 4 of 7 from 3-point range, 4 boards, including a few really big ones in the fourth quarter. Like, Mike, you can say a lot of things about Michael Porter Jr. You cannot say that dude's not tough. He toughed this one out today. I got nothing but respect for Michael Porter Jr.
Minutes across the board for the Nuggets. Jokic at 43, Murray at 42, Christian at 43, Aaron at 43, Porter also at 42. Like, to go from questionable and not necessarily knowing whether you're going to play, not necessarily knowing how much you could give. He played a lot in the game on Thursday, and he wasn't good in that one. Let's be honest, but he also was out there and he was trying, he was giving effort. He was like giving what he could to the team. And I have a lot of respect for that. I have a lot of respect that, look, this situation hasn't been perfect for Denver. They fired their coach. They fired their GM. Things are not going well. But to still be out there, even though you have a massive injury that probably, like, let's be honest, Matt, if this was a regular season, he would be out for a month. He would be out for a month as they were kind of rehabbing him, putting him into a position where he could be perfectly healthy heading into the playoffs. Like, you don't have that luxury here. And so you hurt that shoulder in game 2 and just have to gut it out for game 3 and game 4. Much respect to Michael Porter, and also Aaron Gordon, frankly, who, like, we know he's kind of dragging that calf along a little bit. He's fighting tooth and nail to try to stay on Kawhi Leonard, to try to stay on James Harden, stay engaged with these guys. Boy, did he have a good game tonight, and it was just perfect timing.
I can't believe the Clippers Harden getting up in CB's face was the dumbest possible thing. And he wasn't around for the 2020 thing. Yeah. But, like, this reminds me so much of them getting up in Paul Millsap's face, where it's like, you want to get up in the one guy that those guys all have Jokic's back, and they've got CB's back, and they've got AG's back, and they've got, I think, Jamal's back too. Like, they've got each other's backs. Just win the series. The Nuggets defense is bad. You can score routinely. What are you doing? You don't want this to be a chippy, tough, gritty series. You're James Harden. You're Kawhi Leonard. That's not what you're made of. Yeah. Like, just go make the shooty hoops and win the game. So, like, that was a ridiculous sequence. I thought, like,
Norman Powell, by the way, is also acting like insane in some of these moments. Like,
look, I appreciate it from Norm because Norm wants to win.
But he's also acting so affronted in so many of these moments. Like, Denver's just trying to play defense, and they're not doing anything crazy to him. And he's obviously the one who's starting all of this crap.
I think Norman wants to be competitive because, like, he comes from a tough team. Like, he was on the Raptors. Like, he knows he remembers what it's like to play at that level. And I thought Norman was actually terrific tonight. 22 points, 7 of 13. I thought he was really good and gave them a lift. But look, Kawhi, this is my thing. I said this before the series. Okay, I said, if you built a guy in the lab to guard Kawhi Leonard, you build Aaron Gordon. And Kawhi can still have 50 on him because he's a cyborg and he makes jump shots. But you know what? Contested ISO jumpers are hard game to get. You can do it for multiple games in the series. It's hard night to night to night. Kawhi Leonard tonight, 10 of 22 from the field, 24 points on 22 shots, 9 boards. Boardman gets paid, I guess, -2. So AG, I thought, did a phenomenal job on him. I am not going to excuse. Okay. Coming up, I want to talk about Jamal Murray.
Okay.
I want to talk about the AG finish. I want to talk about Jokic being the aggressor. I want to talk
more on Jokic for sure.
I want to talk about good Peyton Watson minutes. I want to talk about a lot more. We'll get to it coming up on Locked On Nuggets. You ever check into your bank account and wonder, where'd all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in. Your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and you start building wealth. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. You can track shared and personal accounts. If you're in a relationship and you want to be able to track some that you're sharing with that person, but others that are still yours because you haven't taken that step yet, you can do that. You can track multiple accounts at different types of financial institutions, all on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year. We'll be right back on Locked On Nuggets. Back here on Locked On Nuggets. Thanks for joining us and making us part of your day. It's cool. There's another Clipper fan in the comment. We've now seen all four Clippers fans have made it into our comments this week. It's really exciting for them.
Jesus.
Aaron Gordon. Here's a question I have about that one. And I think that final play was honestly too close to be reviewed.
Yeah.
The other thing I don't know, and I really don't know the rule on this, if Aaron puts his hand through the hoop, but the ball passes through the hoop without him touching the net or the rim to alter the shot before it goes through, is it good at the moment that it passes through the cylinder?
I think it has to come out through the bottom of the net, doesn't it?
It does. So that's the question then, is was he touching it? If he still had contact on it, I don't know.
I don't know. It's an amazing play for so many reasons. First and foremost, let's go to the play before that with Jokic. Jokic, Sombor shuffle over Ivica Zubac. They don't double in that situation. He gets to his right. He gets to his left shoulder, fades off of the right foot and puts that in. It was an incredible shot, insane shot, and just another masterful opportunity for Jokic when you get into a situation where you don't have to take a hero three. And then Harden comes back. I think it was Harden who missed the floater, and then Zubac tips it in on the other side. Correct me if I'm wrong. Denver's got 8 seconds left from that moment. And the fact that they weren't able to get a better shot than Jokic deciding, here, let me dribble over to this side of the court and try to take a rainbow three was kind of wild. But hey, he got it up and he got a shot off, and it was missed so badly that Gordon had an opportunity to even take that and tip that in the first place. Talk about being in the right place at the right time, man. Just a massive, massive spot for Aaron Gordon to be in that moment. And look, he deserves it. There's nobody on this team that deserves that moment more than Aaron Gordon, bar none, hands down.
Yeah. That's a terrific moment for him. To be able to do this. And here, I will say this too. The collapse doesn't bother me that much. The defense was bad, but look, these two teams are just even, man.
Yeah.
They're just even. The Clippers, I think, are better, but they're not better enough to get margin. They can't separate. This is these are two games that if you're a Clippers fan, you're we could have won those games. It could be over by now. This is two games.
The combined win margin that the Nuggets have over the Clippers is 4.
Yep.
Insane. That's an insane thing to say.
And there's a possibility that I'm wrong and the Nuggets will come back in game 5 and they'll get their blowout game. I said before the series, I thought that Joker was worth 2 games. Kawhi was worth a game and a half. The Clippers defense was worth a half game. And then from there, you start to get into luck and variance and all sorts of random stuff. And we're kind of seeing that. This was the Jokic game.
Yeah.
And Kawhi was game 2. And we'll see kind of if we get another Jokic game in game 5. If Kawhi gives them a half where he takes over, we'll see. But they have every opportunity to get this to a game 7, and game 7s are typically very good for home teams. Just historically has been the case. The ball pressure on Jamal late was a problem. The turnover, where Kawhi stripped him and went the other way for the dunk, was a problem.
Insane. That's an insane mistake to make.
It is Kawhi Leonard.
Yes, you're right, but this is the thing. This is why you're Jamal Murray and why you're paid what you're paid.
He had 3 turnovers, which isn't a huge amount.
Correct.
He had 8 assists.
Correct.
Which he probably will not like. There will never be any sort of discussion of the fact that he had 8 assists in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I did not feel like Jamal took bad shots in this game. I felt like he continued to take good looks, and he shot 5 of 17. His job is to make shots, and he knows that, and that's what he'd say. It's like, doesn't matter, my job is to make shots. As always, I am left pondering the existential crisis of how does a person that shoots thousands and thousands and thousands of jumpers in his life control the outcome of an activity that has roughly a 45% chance of going in? What do you do?
I mean, part of the problem, especially like not even necessarily in the fourth quarter, but in the beginning of the second quarter when the Nuggets had the lineup that was Murray, Pickett, Watson, Porter, Jordan, every single opportunity that the Clippers had to just like not allow Jamal Murray to do anything, they were going to try to do it. They were trying to get the ball out of his hands. They were trying to disrupt him as much as possible. It looked, and I posted this on social, it looked like 5 separate wolves, like ready to feast on a young buck in like caught in the middle of a trap. What was that? That was scary. That was an ice cube popping over here. But like just a weird situation for Denver to be in, where obviously Russell Westbrook's not out there, and obviously like, okay, Matt, you're being trolled in the comments. He's just literally trolling.
Everyone, with multiple people.
It is Stanley Kroenke in the comments. I just
and Michael Malone. Why is Michael Malone being mean to me? I like Michael Malone.
They're the same person. I just want to let you know. But like, no, so Murray's in a really tough position in those moments, but like he's just got to step up and shoot. Like, look, I'm going to do the shooty hoops thing. He went 5 of 17, but he was a +8 in this game, in a game that they won by 2. So it's hard for me to judge one way or the other. Some of the detail stuff was good. Some of the defense from him at the beginning of this game was very, very good. He got worse on defense as the game went along, and it's one of the reasons why the Clippers scored on like 12 straight possessions.
They got 4 points from the bench.
6 points last game, 4 points this game.
I do not know why Peyton Watson's playing 12:45. He was good. Peyton needs to play more. He's been good. He just needs to play more.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think they're a bit frustrated with him at times. And yeah, to me, 13 minutes is just not enough for him in a situation where all he's going to do is stand in the corner or cut. Like, he's not going to do anything offensively for you other than that in these situations. So why not put him out there and just defend as much as possible?
I cannot believe that I was like, you know what? There will come a time in this series when you may have to call on Zeke Naji. And David Adelman was like, Blacko, get in there.
Immediately turns the ball over, dribbling it up the floor. Like, insane. Just like Denver's so down bad with their bench right now. And if they had one stable option, then I think that they would be like, I don't know, man. Like, they would be okay. They need the best version of Russell Westbrook. That's clear. I don't know what they're going to get if he comes back in this series. The hope would be just somebody who's aggressive and could take some pressure off of the starters, and I think he would do that.
I don't want to ask this question, but I feel like I have to. Do they win this game if Russ plays?
I don't know. Like,
good answer.
I don't have a good answer for you. Like, he might make the big hustle plays that they need, and he also might make a key turnover or miss a shot that, like, we just don't know. But like, he made clutch plays in the first 2 games, so like, it's hard for me to be too critical.
Christian finally had the game I thought he was going to have all series. Finally had the game I thought he was going to have all series. 17
points in a body bag for a while.
17 rebounds, 17.7 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. One of them was incredible.
Yeah.
And I think Powell was the late one. 8 of 19 from the field, which is fine. 1 of 8 from 3. So, you know, above the break. But like, I think CB was getting those dunker spots things and cutting on Harden. And like, this is what early in the series, I was like, oh, Christian's gonna have a great series. They're not gonna pay any attention to him at all. And then like, he just disappeared. And I will say the Clippers are getting A lot of games with the Nuggets comes down to mental endurance. Mm-hmm. Are you willing to do the hard stuff over and over and over and over and over and over again? And I thought honestly, I thought after game 2, and like you said it, like with how banged up they were, I think they were mentally and emotionally exhausted.
Yeah.
And in this one, I don't think the Clippers had enough. I just don't. I don't think that they had enough focus to get this one. Like they needed to be sharper. They came out and they won game 3 at 3 and blew out the Nuggets. And I really do like. I think they thought this was going to be easy. I think they were like, "Oh, we got the wall. We have a slightly different structure of an arena wall. Oh, this is fine."
Yeah.
And it, in fact, was not. And so, like, look, Ryan and I have been trying to bury the Nuggets all year.
True.
And every time we do, they've responded. They have battled back. And I'll say this. You are only putting these dudes in the grave when you got the dirt on top. Because other than that, they are crawling out with their fingernails. You are not putting them in the ground unless it is absolutely 6 feet under. So, yeah, we'll see what the Clippers are made of. That to me is the Clippers I think are better, but I don't know what the Clippers are made of. I don't know what they're made of because they had a great opportunity to come back and steal this game and end the series effectively. They come back and they come back from down 20 and they win this in overtime. And like, it's just like, I mean, it would kind of be like game 1, right? Where it's like, oh, how do the Clippers respond? And they responded great in game 2. But it's probably like, look, it's 3-1. It wasn't our year. We're done. Right. But now you've told them that they could beat you. Like
you've allowed them the possibility of thinking that they can beat you.
They're gonna beat the Clippers 2 out of 3 times and they go to the next round. That's it.
And they have 2 home games. Like there's at least a world where Denver's a little bit more used to the altitude in this situation, and the Clippers are the team that eventually gasses out. I don't think that that's what's going to happen because I think that Denver is going to be gassed themselves. They played like all their starters played in between 42 and 43 minutes today. So like it's going to be tough. This is a grind, but again, this is what this team is supposed to be made of. This is what this team has gone through before, and the hope is that you can find some measure of oomph, some measure of additive from the bench, and so that the 5 guys on the floor do not have to do absolutely everything this time around. Again, the fact that Michael Porter had to play 42 minutes in this game, is insane. That's an insane thing. Julian Strawther couldn't get up off the bench in this one, and like it's not his choice. Like
that's not. I'm not like
it's not Julian Strawther's fault, but like I just don't think the coaches trust the bench. I don't think that there's any real degree of trust there.
I think that they're going to have to, though. If Russ is out another game, man, you got to give guys an opportunity to shine and not 2 minutes and 3 seconds for Vlatko Čančar.
No. This is what the playoffs are, though, right? This is what the playoffs just are. You have a job to do in that stretch, in a small stretch of time. You are either going to do it or you are not going to do it. And like Denver just doesn't have the luxury of being able to wait around for these guys to figure stuff out. It has to happen.
I'm not talking about like developmental time, Ryan. I'm talking about but these guys why are these guys on your roster? Because we believe they're talented. Then give them an opportunity. Give Zeke Naji a chance to make a play. Give Julian Strawther a chance to make a play. Like, they might turn the ball over. Like Michael Porter Jr. Oh, they might get beat on defense. Like Jamal Murray. Like,
yeah. You're right. You are 100% right about it that like if you're still getting mistakes from the starters, I think that Denver just feels like they're not going to be able to score with those guys out there, and they're going to make the defensive mistakes.
But I also just think it's like give a guy a chance to make a play. I never say this. That's how desperate you are. If you have better options, I'd advocate for them. You don't have them.
Yeah.
Like I just don't think that burning these guys completely out is good for anybody.
I feel like Denver dodged some bullets. Like I feel like Denver dodged some bullets in this game from the Clippers from a shooting perspective. Norman Powell made some big shots in the fourth quarter, but outside of that, the Clippers were kind of bricking. They shot a low percentage from the free throw line. They shot the exact same number of free throws and exact same number of attempts and makes for Denver, and Denver was able to come out on top. Do you think that Denver can repeat this Like, can they repeat this formula going forward? Is this something that they can do again?
I don't have any way to predict what Joker's going to do.
Okay.
Like, he's a bird. So I don't have any sort of way for me to be able to predict what Nikola is going to do, because I was kind of like, well, I think if he could score, he would have. And then this one, he just did. Maybe they changed their coverage. Maybe they softened up because they were overconfident. But like, Joker did exactly what people said that he should have, and just like take it to him, man. He just took it to him. Just took it to him and beat Zeus straight up. Scored over, through, around, everywhere. And when you got that kind of force that's able to give you those buckets, you're in a really good position.
Do you think that Jamal Murray is capable of having a game?
Yes, he had one last game. Like, this is what sucks.
No, I mean like a game, not like
I hear you. I hear you. But my thing is, like, in order for him to have a game, he's got to be in a space where the shots are falling. And I will just continue to say, like, I don't think this is the defense. I am always willing to give the defense credit. Like, I think Chris Dunn, again, I'll say this for a million times, Dunn would have been first team all defense for me. And if he was eligible, I would have put him on the DPOY list. He would have been on my ballot if I had one. And he was eligible. That's how good I think Chris Dunn is. I do not see it when I'm watching the clips and I'm watching these shots. I do not see Chris Dunn bothering him. And I see the Nuggets continuing to be like, you want to make Russell Westbrook be the linchpin? How about if we make Chris Dunn be the linchpin and he goes -12 and 1 of 9? You've got your non-shooter. We've got ours. So, I think Jamal definitely, like, this is not the Wolves series last year. This isn't the Lakers series last year. He's not getting by guys. He's not failing to get separation. He is getting to the shots that he needs to get, and then he is missing them. And his job as a scorer is to make them. But I have no tactical or physical adjustment based off of my limited experience to suggest what it is that Jamal needs to do better. It's will it in. Make it go in.
Make the shooty hoop.
Make the shooty hoop. There's not a lot you can do, because Kawhi Leonard shot 10 of 22 today, under 50% from the field. And he missed his last two that they really, 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 really needed. Yeah. And that happens sometimes with jump shots. It's just like part of this. I will say there's a lot. I think if you're the Clippers, and again, we'll another day, we'll talk about what I think is going to happen, because we do have 2 days off finally for the guys to get some rest.
Whew.
I didn't want to see if I'm a Clippers fan. I didn't want to see Jokic getting 30+. I didn't want to see Aaron Gordon and MPJ getting 14 and 17 respectively, getting 31. I didn't want to see Christian Brown getting 17. I didn't want to see Jamal Murray getting 19 shots, most of them pretty good, including 1 of 5 from 3-point range. Like, process-wise, the elite defense was not there today. This game should have probably been wider based off of the quality of looks that Denver was consistently generating.
Yeah, I do agree.
Now, the Clippers can score because the Nuggets defense is still trash. But they're, because I said these things after game 3, like, again, what's the name of the show, right?
No drinks,
and apparently I pressured you into it. I don't understand how this works.
Oh, okay. Let me take some ownership of my own person here. I don't need a lot of pushing in order to feel negative. And I feel like in a negative space where you see a team lose by 34, pretty easy to kind of change your priors at that point. But I do, like, I've said pretty consistently that I thought it would be 1-1 going there and 2-2 coming back.
Yeah.
And like, they are now at that place, and kind of doesn't necessarily matter how they got there. It's just about a new best of 3 series at this point. And can Denver win 2? I'm very curious to see whether they handle it well.
Aaron Gordon's late shot clock turnaround fadeaway that got the bounce was a massive, massive shot that he had to generate that will go forgotten because of...
I remember. It was a huge shot. Yeah.
Aaron Gordon makes winning plays, man. That's why, like, we'll talk about, there'll be time to talk about the future and all that, but I just have a really hard time with Aaron Gordon's the kind of guy that you should want on your team. Aaron Gordon is the kind of guy you should want in your organization. Aaron Gordon is the kind of guy you should want on the floor. Aaron Gordon wants to win and makes winning plays. Like,
we've always felt that way. And like, it's just Sometimes, okay, no. We can. I can take some ownership here as well. He has always been the perfect counter for Nikola Jokic. Just somebody who is willing and able to sit in the dunker. And lo and behold, that's exactly how the game ended, with Jokic being an absolute maestro for the vast majority of it. But ultimately, they needed somebody to sit in the dunker in order to get a shot. And it happened. And they're now 2-2.
Bogdan was plus 22 in this game.
I was going to ask about that. Do you think that that's a major adjustment for them? Like he was playing pretty aggressive defense with Murray. Kind of wild how that happens. Like Murray should be able to crack Bogdanovic's defense, but like he was playing him well.
He was, but I think this is going to be, I think you're going to see Chris Dunn play less and less. And I think you're going to see Bogdanovic and Batum play more and more. They won the Batum minutes tonight, -6 and 1 of 6 from 3 for Nicholas Batum.
He had been making some absolutely insane shots through the beginning of the series. So like,
this is hilarious, Brian.
The shot regression.
Just the entire year. I honestly, I don't think that they were that insane. They were just high catch and shoots. It wasn't like they were like,
no, it's the no dip threes.
Yeah,
like like those are crazy shots.
Yeah. They are and they're not, from the perspective of once you learn that mechanic, the guys are really good at hitting them.
The other stat I want to throw at you, one that I had at the beginning before Game 4, the Clippers were 16 of 32 from 3 with less than 7 seconds on the shot clock in this series. By far the best in the NBA playoff picture so far. I can visualize in my head and see so many different sequences where the Nuggets give up on closing out on a shooter in those situations. But also, the Nuggets were shooting like 23% from 3 in those situations, and the Clippers were shooting 50%. Do we get that flipped at all?
I think so. I want to shout out one particular sequence. There was, before Jamal Murray's turnover with the Kawhi dunk, there was another turnover that led to a scramble that led to a Kawhi spot up 3. And Christian made an absolutely incredible closeout to prevent that 3-point shot. That was the kind of play that you needed. Like that's a winning play.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that I think you kind of need. To me, that look here all year long, I've said the same thing about the 3-point stuff. The Nuggets don't have to shoot a lot of threes. They don't have to keep the opponent from shooting a lot of threes. They can't have the opponent shoot a lot of threes, and they don't. Both teams took 30. Both teams make 10. Nuggets win by 1. 2. Like that's it. That is it, man. Like this is how this team is built.
Yeah, they need to keep those margins, and it's just so important. Like Denver's defense, if you eliminate Game 3 from your mind, Denver's defense in this series has been very good. They have been very connected. They have worked hard. They have made the extra effort plays. I do come on, like Game 1, Game 2, I thought their defense was good. Was it not?
Yeah, but I think in Game 1 and Game 2, you are correct. I think the second half I think that fourth quarter in particular, where Harden is just getting to the layups every single time versus the drop coverage, was not good.
They were
playing how many buckets
prevent offense.
Do what?
Prevent offense.
Man.
Like you do not want to, like, you're just trying to dribble out clock as possible. Like, just I don't know. It's hard for me to like. I'm willing to expect Denver to play pretty good defense in Game 5 once again.
Okay, that's gonna do it for Locked On Nuggets. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow night. No jinx. We'll preview. We'll kind of like do the aftermath of this game. We'll look forward to Game 5 and try and see where we're at with the series. Bring us your takes. Leave them in the comments at youtube.com/LockedOnNuggets. Hit us on Twitter at LockedOnNuggets. Appreciate you guys. Have yourselves a great Sunday. Enjoy the win. We'll talk to you guys again next time on Locked On Nuggets.